Hey, party people. Okay, so Cindy, this is a video for you to respond to your bullet journal video because I'm driving and I cannot comment on your video, but I was listening to it while I was driving, and so I wanted to respond to you because I also use project planning as a form of procrastination. Is really bad for me. I will use tools like Trello, or I actually got the Trello idea from you, so thanks a lot. Just kidding. I will use stuff like that to procrastinate for sure, especially in my planner, because you can take stickers and lettering and organization of your different bullet points and stuff and make it as fancy as you want to, but at the end of the day you're still procrastinating because you're not actually working on a task related to your project. I mean, you kind of are, but like, is making a fancy list in my planner something that I legit need to do to move my project forward, to get some progress done on the project? No, it's not. However, I'll say it's good to clear your head that way. Like, if I go into my planner and I'm like, hey, I feel super overwhelmed right now, I can go, all right, what the hell is going on? Like, when do I need to have these things done? Like, what do I need to prioritize here? And then I'll go, okay, so this thing is due for my boss today. Have to get this done today because he said by the end of the day I need this. So I'm gonna do that first, right? Because that's something for boss. Other stuff like, do I need to send an email to this person? Yeah, sometime this week would be good, like for us to, we need to check in, but it's not like totally relevant today. I will totally put that off until all the big deadline stuff is done. That other stuff is like, okay, let's remember to check in with each other at some point, and I'll even put a flag on their last email or whatever in my inbox to remind me. And then everything that I have in my inbox, I'll use as an action item. So I don't actually do any of that in my planner. It's all in my inbox at work. So I'll flag it if I need to take care of it. If it's something that I saw came in and I'm like, I need to respond to this, I need to take care of it. I even color code it sometimes if I have a lot in there and I want to look at, okay, what's everything that has to do with managing my service desk? What's everything that came from my boss that's something that he needs me to do? What came from my coworkers that's like a quality of life improvement that they would like to have done in the system? What do I need to do today that cannot wait, right away, needs to be done ASAP? I need to color code that. I put big red due date category on. And I have my categories done in Outlook that way, and I will totally send you a screenshot of that if you want. Because I have like 10 different categories. One is like due date, one is add to my task list for later, one is something to follow up on. It just says follow up. The due date is bright red. Service desk is green. And that one I use for stuff that's like, in order to keep this thing going, you need to handle this. Like today needs to be handled. Just like regular, operations type stuff. Like daily stuff that needs to get done. What's another one? Orange. The orange stuff I use for like personal stuff to kind of separate it out. So I'll have an orange category that is labeled personal, and I have another one that's orange labeled out of office, because if it's something that I'm sending to somebody else, like if I need to let them know I'm going to be out of office that day, I'll categorize it like that so that I remember to tell them that I'm not going to be there. Or if I need to remember to get somebody to cover something like a scheduling type thing, or if I need to delegate work to somebody else to be done while I'm gone, then I'll use that. I also color code the events on my calendar like that. So when I'm looking at my calendar view, I can see like, oh, I'm going to be gone this day. And I'll make an event for myself on the calendar that says like, leave to go pick up AJ, or leave for a doctor's appointment, or whatever, and I'll color that whole event like orange. So I know I use the exact same colors on there. So I know like, okay, this reminder that's going to pop up is going to say like leave for event, and it'll have a little color on it, and then I'll go, oh yeah, I need to go to the doctor now. Like I need to leave like right now to go to the doctor. Oh, hang on, there's a ambulance going the other way. Stuff that I need to do on a certain date, or that's due on a certain date, I will mark that red category on it if it's a calendar event, and then I'll just put it on that calendar date, like an all-day event, so that it's at the very top of the calendar and it says due date on it, or it'll say blah 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 project for Dan, or project due for XYZ person, or follow up with this person on this date about, you know, whatever it is. And I just use appointments for all that stuff because I don't know how any of the other stuff works in Outlook, to be honest, and I have no idea. And I'm not going to spend the time to find out. I'm just doing appointments because I know like all day appointments are like full box, or they'll show up like a quarter box at the top of my calendar day because I have the calendar showing vertically in Outlook, so that it looks like a vertical like EC spread. And I only have the days of the week showing on there that I'm going to be at work. So I only do weekdays, because that way it keeps it totally separate from personal stuff. I put nothing personal on there on my work calendar. That might be something that would be helpful for you too, is if you separate out your work calendar from your personal life calendar and just keep them totally separate. I used to keep them all the same when I first started working in IT, and I had like so much going on at a time, and I was like, oh, if I just put it all on one calendar, I'll know what's going on all the time. But the problem you run into with that is then you get to a point where it's like notification fatigue, or like decision fatigue, like, should I be calling to make my kid's doctor appointment right now, or should I be working on this project right now? It's like I have a free 15 minutes, like what do I do? But at the end of the day, for me at least, it's simpler to just keep it like during the hours of X to X, I do nothing personal, like not one thing, unless it's on my lunch break. And then, you know, when I'm not at work, I don't check my work email, and I don't have anything work related on my personal email account on my Gmail. And so that calendar and that email account are only personal stuff. That's it. And that's because, like, if I had it all together, I would lose my damn mind. It's almost like when you need to focus on something and you just have to close down everything else, like you have to turn your phone off, or you have to leave your house just to get away from anything else that would distract you. Like, I notice when I'm having a really hard time focusing at work, if I close my email and I close out of any programs that I'm not using, then it makes it a lot easier to just focus on the one thing that I'm trying to get done. Especially if you're like on the phone with somebody, that can be really helpful, because then you're not getting distracted when you're in the middle of trying to talk to somebody by like, oh, hey, I got an email from this person. Okay, I got to remember to follow up on that later. I need to put a flag on there. Instead, it's more like you're just in that moment doing that one thing, and then by the time you go back and check your email, you know, almost no time has passed, right? Like, what's an extra 15 minutes delay in checking your email? It's not like if you're a surgeon or something and like somebody's life is in danger because an ambulance just pulled up, like they have pagers for that, right? You're not gonna get notified of that over email, right? So that's kind of the terminology we sometimes use in IT too, is like, it's not a life or death situation. Nobody's gonna die if I don't check my email for another hour while I go to this meeting, or while I fix this outage, or, you know, while I do this other thing. It's not a big deal to make people wait. And sometimes culture can just be like, everybody wants everything right away, and you feel like you have to get everything done all at the same time, but you don't. And I call that the speed of corporate, where it's like something might be an emergency to you, or like to the other person, or the other group of people even. But honestly, if you weren't planning on doing it, their lack of planning does not constitute my emergency, right? So in that case, I just, I'm like, I'll do my best to help you with the time that I have right now, but I already have my priorities set today. I can't just drop everything to help you. Even though, like, I might want to, I can't. Like, I'm already committed to doing X, Y, and Z for my boss today. Those are hard deadlines. It's kind of that, kind of like your book. And it's like, I can't just drop everything, dude. I have stuff that's already ahead of you in terms of date and time requirements, and, everything I do is based on service level agreements. So it's all like, if it's this request, it needs to be done by XYZ date time. And everything I do comes in like that. So it's like, if I already have 5 people waiting on something from me, I can't just bump you to the front of the line just because you didn't put in the request until the last minute. That's not fair to all those other people. Plus, that makes me look bad because I didn't get things done in what looks like an on-time fashion for those other people. Even though I got something done super early for you, that doesn't negate the time that I should have been spending on the other requests, if that makes sense. So I guess that's how I organize stuff and prioritize stuff, especially when it's crunch time. And I thought that might be helpful for you to just maybe have some different perspective on it. I don't know if it does or not, but I felt like talking, and maybe you're a captive audience right now, or whoever else is listening, so hopefully it's helpful. I would say doing a Kanban board. I know a lot about Kanban because that's a tool used in manufacturing a lot, and I've worked in companies where they did a lot of manufacturing. I actually work for a company right now where they do manufacturing, and it's a really great way to organize things and to keep track of what's in progress, and kind of hold back new things from all coming into the system too fast so that you can actually finish what's already in progress. It's kind of like a gatekeeping system, which is great, but I guess for you, I don't see the value in creating a Kanban board unless you really have a lot of incoming requests all at once that you need to kind of filter and prioritize. And unless you have a lot going on at the same time, I don't know, I feel like it's more work to manage it than it would be worth it to you. I do have a book, though, that I bought a long time ago about how using a system like that can benefit you, and also how it can be less than beneficial. But if you want it, I will lend it to you. It's in my Kindle library, so I am more than happy to lend it to you if you'd like to read it. I haven't read it in forever, so I know it's available to be lent out. But yeah, just let me know. I think you have my email from Patreon. Otherwise, just message me on Facebook or something, and I'll send it to you. And then, yeah, hopefully that'd be helpful for you. I just wanted to tell you before I forgot, because I knew too, if I get home and I pick up my kid, like the second I pick up my kid, you know how that is. It's like kid time, right? Until they decide to stop talking. Or at least that's how it goes with my kids. So I just wanted to tell you before it left my brain for good. So anyway, this is a long video. If you made it this far, congratulations, because most people would have given up on listening by now. Anyways, I hope you're feeling better, and I will talk to you in the Facebook group or on Patreon. Love you much. Bye, girl.